Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Boruto episode 205 review. Alright guys, this episode was pretty much everything that I thought it was going to be. Everything in this episode was all about lore, furthering the plot, and a bunch of critical things that we definitely needed to know. I think the first thing that a lot of people, or a lot of the anime only people would want to know is of course the well-being of Sasuke and Naruto. Now at first, Shikamaru pretty much said, or he came in, he's basically talking Team 7 as if Sada wasn't there, and just flat out said Sasuke came back from his mission in critical condition. Sada herself was as shocked as you can expect. Shikamaru didn't care at all. He was just trying to get to the bottom of the situation, and that's just Shikamaru for you. But regardless, it turns out that he is no longer in critical condition, which is absolutely amazing. And we also found out that Naruto was also alive as well because of the hand that Kawaki was using. Obviously, because it lights up and Kawaki can use it, Naruto is still feeding chakra to that arm. And imagine the state of Naruto. Like, imagine how nice this guy is, dog. This guy wakes up from being completely trashed by Jigen, someone that powerful that he's never fought before, in an unknown place, possibly sealed, nothing but pitch black darkness. And one of the first things that he remembers is, oh, I gotta make sure that Kawaki has 2 good arms. But the first thing in regards to the episode that I do want to talk about has to be Kashin Koji in this episode. I think there should be no doubt at this particular point that Kashin Koji is probably the traitor. Now, Kashin Koji went through this elaborate explanation, but just immaculate cap, and at the end he started to laugh as if he just fooled Boro. Now this right here, in my opinion, completely confirms the theory that Kashin Koji is going to be the traitor, 100%. That was just immaculate cap. One of the crazy things that happened though was the fact that Boro actually tried to sneak one of his followers up into the bunk and try to catch Kashin Koji lacking, and Kashin Koji was on guard. Like, this man, I don't even want to say a second, probably like 0.3 seconds, got my man's detained him and put a knife to his neck. This man Kashin Koji just seems like an absolute killer. But regardless, Boro came in. He was 100% committed to actually calling Kashin Koji out, and the things that Boro was saying were actually legit, 100%. Now I do want to point out they did kind of change some things in the Boruto anime regarding this scene right here. Boro didn't necessarily talk to Kashin Koji, and Kashin Koji also divulged some very huge plot stuff in this particular scene. Of course, because it's the Boruto anime review, I'm not necessarily going to be spoiling anything, but regardless, I just want to tell you guys that that right there is something that we did not necessarily get to hear in this episode. I'm super excited to see exactly how they actually talk about that, or if it could possibly be retcon. Speaking of retcon, I do want to talk about some things regarding the actual preview when I do make that video. But Kashin Koji and Boro talked about some interesting things. Kashin Koji told Boro that they're going to wait for Boruto's karma seal to actually progress and be fully complete, and he said that's going to take some time. Now it seemed like Boruto was going to be fully involved in this particular situation, and we don't really know why. Obviously the karma seal is going to be going on, and we got that insane scene from Jigen where Boruto and Kawaki are in the 2nd stage or 3rd stage of the karma seal, where they pretty much have the horns out, and Jigen says that they're going to be turning into perfect Otsutsuki members. But I personally believe if that was actually the case and Kashin Koji was not the quote-unquote traitor, I think that Kashin Koji would have been gotten Boruto up out of there, unless Kashin Koji just thinks that he's not stronger than people like Shikamaru, which I strongly doubt. I'm pretty sure Kashin Koji would have just taken Kawaki and Boruto and headed back to the Kata organization's hideout. But Kashin Koji did bring up a very interesting point. He basically said that Jigen was actually inside the village. I'm pretty sure if Jigen wanted to, he could have possibly dealt with Kashin Koji right then on the spot before he did actually go and take Naruto with him. But then again, you probably have to assume that it would cause a big ruckus, mainly because Jigen's chakra signature isn't necessarily native to the Hidden Leaf Village. The sensory unit would have got tipped off, and Jigen wouldn't necessarily have that element of surprise heading into Naruto's living room. So I don't know. Now the Kata organization pretty much laid out all their next moves in this particular episode right here. Boro is going to the other dimension to protect the space that Naruto was in. At that particular time, they didn't necessarily know exactly where Boro was, but we see in the scene where Kashin Koji was that Boro is actually going back to actually get his orders from the Kata organization, and Ko is going to protect the 10 tails. And this right here is going to be something very interesting, mainly because Sasuke with the Rinnegan could have easily went back to that other dimension and sealed the 10 tails inside of him from the Rinnegan. This right here could have possibly been something absolutely insane for the character of Sasuke. Obviously, it's not necessarily going to be the full 10 tails, mainly because this right here was the juvenile 10 tails, but I think that right there could have possibly played to Sasuke's advantage, because if you guys do recall, when Obito sealed the 10 tails in his body, he was literally being ripped limb from limb. I don't know. This right here would have possibly been like a dream scenario for me. Sasuke going to the other dimension, absorbing the 10 tails, and then getting another Rinnegan. I don't know. It would pretty much ended the Naruto versus Sasuke debate right then and there. Now, towards the end of the episode, something something really freaking happened to Boruto and Kawaki. They pretty much opened a portal to Naruto's dimension. I talked about earlier in this episode how the prosthetic arm that Kawaki got from Naruto started to light up, which pretty much indicates that Naruto was actually alive. Kawaki and Boruto actually opened a portal, and it seems like they're getting newer and newer abilities from the Karma Steel day by day. In regular instances, I'd probably call us out and say this was completely unrealistic, but one of the things that we do have to understand in regards to the Otsutsuki clan is that we have absolutely no idea what they can possibly do. We know everything in regards to actual ninjas, but when it comes to Otsutsuki clan, and of course Kawaki and Boruto potentially being more new quote-unquote perfect Otsutsuki members, we have to be completely open-minded going into situations like this. And not only that, Kawaki pretty much added that he was damn near the same as Jigen. They're pretty much operating on the same wavelength. In the Boruto manga, Kawaki kind of explained this a little bit better. He pretty much said that whatever Jigen can do, Kawaki can also do. Because Jigen opened a portal to that dimension, Kawaki also, in theory, can open a portal to that dimension. Now, it might be a little bit different in regards to Boruto, mainly because, of course, his Karma Steel is going to be linked to Momoshiki Otsutsuki and not Ishiki Otsutsuki or Jigen in this particular situation. And even that right there is going to be a very interesting thing. Even the manga readers can appreciate this after the time skip. How are Boruto and Kawaki's Karma Steel going to differ? Because right now, Boruto and Kawaki, they're just using the regular abilities of the Karma Steel. I'm pretty sure every single Karma Steel is going to have the absorption of chakra, they're going to have the speed and strength boost, they're going to have just regular stuff like that. But now we're seeing more abilities with the Karma Steel, with the portal being able to use, and I'm pretty damn sure later on in the series we're definitely going to find out more abilities from this Karma Steel. This episode right here was also good for Shikamaru as well. Shikamaru, in my personal opinion, I thought they was going to come in, or after this episode was going to receive a lot of hate, but I think majority of the Boruto fans understand where Shikamaru is coming from, similar to what I've been saying for like damn near all this time leading up to this episode, because I really thought that Shikamaru was going to get bombarded with a bunch of hate mail because he was the opposition to Team 7. The one thing that I would have wished was that Shikamaru would have followed Team 7 into the other dimension and then actually tried to save Naruto, but obviously the Naruto writers are angling for Kawaki and the rest of Team 7 to actually save Naruto by themselves and do it independently. Now obviously at the end of the episode they basically enter the portal, and of course Boro is going to that dimension as well, so now they're setting up the battle, Boro versus Team 7 plus Kawaki. At this particular time we just have to appreciate the fact that Konohamaru is not also going with them. I think we can all agree that if Shikamaru doesn't belong in a battle like this, we damn sure know that Konohamaru does not deserve to be in a battle like this. And for the Boruto anime viewers, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, this right here is going to be one of the most important battles in the Boruto series and regarding the new generation. Matter of fact, why am I even sugarcoating it? This is the most important battle regarding the next generation of the Boruto series. The character development is going to be crazy. It's going to be a bunch of stuff that a lot of the Boruto anime fans are going to be surprised about. Matter of fact, I'm just stop talking about this episode right here. There's a bunch of other videos that I have to make regarding this fight, so I'm going to save it for those videos. But let me know what you guys think about this episode in the comment section below. In my personal opinion, I think it was definitely one of the best episodes in regarding episodes with no fighting, just lore. I think this was definitely one of the best episodes. There's a lot of suspense, there's a lot of tension, and of course Naruto and Sasuke's well-being being secured. But it's me and boy Baara B, and we out.
It's a knife.